My grandma, Judith Matthews, was an amazing person. She was born on June 16, 1940, and sadly passed away on August 18, 2014. If she were here, she would have described herself as a kick. She was always laughing, even when times were rough. She brought a smile to everyone's face and was always ready to join in the fun. She was filled with so much love and was the best grandma, mother, and friend to so many who were lucky enough to meet her. My grandma was a fighter. She fought for so much, yet always remained optimistic. My grandma Judy loved to garden. It was something she did very often and enjoyed very much. We refer to ourselves as her garden. My grandma has given my family the opportunity to have an amazing role model to watch over us while we become the people we are today. Rain nourishes plants and helps them grow, so every time it rains, I know my grandma is giving us nourishment through the holes in the floor of heaven. Just Dance. My friends and I would play Just Dance together with our families, and my grandma would be watching and laughing, and one day she decided to join in. She then played Just Dance every time she got the chance. My friends loved seeing her and especially dancing with her. If I could describe her in one word, it would be love, said Bella Carpenter. My grandma showed love to my friends and affected them in many positive ways. It warmed my heart to see my friends and my grandma bonding and having a great time. My grandma inspired many more moments of happiness and laughter, but one that affected both my friends, my parents' friends, as well as my grandma's friends was her dining. When we went out to eat, my grandma would always order dessert to take home, along with a little table decoration or utensil. Now, anytime we eat, if there is something cute or decorative on the table, someone will say, Judy would put it in her purse. One of the most memorable of these times was when my mom, grandma, and I went to San Francisco for my 4th grade mission project. We went out to eat, and my grandma ordered a cheesecake to go. She accompanied the cheesecake with a cute fork from the restaurant. We went back to our hotel, and our keys would not work. The hotel employee woke up the neighbors to try and get in through the connecting door, but it was locked from our room. He then called another employee who came to our room, jiggled his keys in the lock, and looked at us and said, "Next time, just jiggle." Then, without another word, he walked away. Once we got to our hotel room, my grandma sat down with the remote, took out her cheesecake and her spoon, and began eating. She sat and watched TV while eating her cheesecake until very late at night, and when we woke up, the spoon was resting on the bedside table, ready to be packed up and taken home. I don't know what it was, us being locked out, the fact that my grandma stole a spoon, or the fact that she was going to take it home. This was just one memory that makes me laugh when I am down. Memories of my grandma are the things that I can turn to when I am down in the dumps and don't feel ready to talk about it. The memories come in abundance and keep me smiling for hours upon hours. It's a shame her mom can't be here now. I asked my mom to describe my grandma in one word. She chose a fighter. My grandma was married to Eddie Matthews, Hall of Fame baseball player, and sadly he passed away in 2001. This was very hard for my grandma, but she fought through it and continued living, but now she was living alone in San Diego. She looked at this in the best way possible, just as she did any situation. And personally, I would say she was never alone, because her neighbors treated her like family, and she visited us very often. She continued to live an optimistic life despite her loss, so I would say she won the battle of sadness. 6 years after my grandpa Eddie's passing, my grandma got cancer. This was a very hard time for both her and my mom. My grandma was very sick and had to be treated with chemotherapy. All these things were very hard for my grandma. Despite being so sick, she mustered up everything she had to keep fighting, and eventually she won this very hard battle. When my grandma passed away, it was tragic, but looking at her life from heaven, I know that she can say she won the war that was her life.
She's watching over you and me. She's watching over